May I come in, sir? Good morning, sir.
Come Ananya.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Good afternoon. Please sit.
Yes, sir.
Please sit.
Thank you, sir.
So you have taken anthropology,
Yes, sir.
and your father is a farmer.
Yes, sir.
How much land do you have?
Sir, we have 4.5 acres of land.
Okay. So that is a fairly good land holding, I think, in the village.
Yes, sir.
Is a wetland or dry land?
Sir, it's a wetland.
Wetland. Which
Yes.
crops do you raise?
So we raise only paddy 2 times a year.
2 times a year.
Yes, sir.
So both of them are short duration paddy crops?
Yes, sir. They are short duration paddy crops.
Okay. So, is that not a big guzzler for the groundwater resources?
Yes, sir. That is true. Paddy is a crop that takes a lot of water. Having said that, sir, I think the crop diversification efforts that have been undertaken in the state of Telangana need to improve, sir. For instance, the lands in Telangana are suitable for growing millets, especially with the government's emphasis on millets too. And groundnuts are also one crop that can grow in my district.
Dry land crop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, both of them.
Yes, sir.
But then the financially it is not very profitable. I think both these crops.
Sir, I think till now the market conditions were like that. But sir, now I believe with government's emphasis on food processing industries, and also, sir, for instance, millets can be processed into a lot of products. There is something like ragi laddus and all those coming up, which can be processed. So probably going forward, the market conditions will improve and such crops will also find place in the cropping system, sir.
So, can you tell me, supposing you have to recommend some major reform areas for Indian agriculture, can you list out some 3-4 of such initiatives which
Yes,
you think will work?
So first reform, I believe, should be in the marketing sphere, sir. Sir, in all honesty, I should say that the Indian agriculture system is heavily skewed towards consumer bias. There is a consumer bias. If we see the recent instances of putting export duties on various products, that itself shows the scenario. So going forward, sir, I think marketing options should be opening up for farmers, whether it be in the case of exports or within India. So that is something that should be done.
That's a very good point. Let me make a note of it. We can come back to it.
Yes, sir.
So you think, okay, number 1, number 2?
So second, I think we should promote more crop diversification. Current cropping system in India is not aligned with the agro-ecological conditions that are there, and excessive emphasis is placed on crops like paddy and wheat. So if enough efforts are made to diversify the crops, I think...
Which one? The paddy and wheat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
So if
diversification you are saying?
Yes, sir. That is the same.
Okay, then?
Sir, thirdly, I think emphasis should be placed on improving the overall investment in the agriculture, sir. For instance, whether it is investments in irrigation, investments in land consolidation and land digitization, these are the steps that can be taken which will go a long way in improving the scenario, is what I believe, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, when I agree that there is a good point in what you are saying about, export ban, but don't you think that food security is an extremely important consideration with the country having a population of this magnitude, and we cannot take that risk in case, it is for the government to take a decision, because it will, if we allow food to be exported without any hindrance, then in case of shortage in the global market, all the wheat may go to some other countries which are willing to offer more.
Sir, I do agree that there is a fine balance that has to be made out. However, sir, if you see the current legislations or norms that are brought out by the government in order to restrict the exports, we have come a long way, sir. Initially, when we got independence, the scenario was different. But now we are one of the largest producers of various items, and we are in a position to export, sir. So if somewhere the restrictive policies tend to kind of balance out, I think the farmers will also benefit along with the food security scenario, sir.
Okay, that's a good point.
Thank you.
Incidentally, who has inspired you to kind of take up this civil services?
Sir, personally, it was my grandfather who motivated me. However, sir, there were other reasons too. Sir, I found civil services is one such profession where I can club my intellectual curiosity for a social cause.
And who decided to send you to Delhi for your graduation?
Sir, myself.
You yourself?
Yes.
And your father was supportive?
Yes, sir, he was.
Okay, I'm really impressed by your father. As I must say. Okay, my last question to you.
Yes.
You know, this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana,
Yes.
what is the premium which has to be paid by the farmers?
Sir, I'm not sure of the exact percentage, but I think it differs for Kharif crops and Rabi crops is what I know. And probably...
Which one would be more?
Sir,
You think and answer.
Sir, I think it's for Rabi crops, sir.
For Rabi, it will be more. Why
Yes,
should
sir,
it
in my
be more
limited
for Rabi?
understanding. Sir, if I take a guess, I think the scenario for Rabi crops, I mean, there is greater potential for Rabi crops to fail, especially because of the weather scenarios and all that, especially in the North India. So might be that is one of the
It's the
reasons.
other way around.
Okay. Sir.
Okay, right. Thanks.
I'll read more about it, sir.
So Ananya, enough has been said about agriculture.
Yes.
So I can also see that you have taken economics as your graduate subject.
Yes, sir. It was one of my minor disciplines I took, sir.
Okay, even if it is minor, it was in a major college.
Yes.
So now, if in the present status of the Indian economy, if there are 2 or 3 concern areas, what would they be? And I'm not talking about skilling and unemployment. I'm talking to you as from the perspective of an economic student in
Yes.
our present economic scenario of India. What would be the concern areas?
So first concern area would be jobless growth.
Again, unemployment I'm not talking about. So
Okay, sir.
jobless growth is connected to that.
So firstly, I believe our declining manufacturing capacity. We are yet to catch up with other countries in terms of manufacturing potential. So that is the first thing I can think
Okay,
of.
I'll give you a hint as to what I'm expecting. Maybe we are not on the same wavelength.
Yes.
That is why I'll give you the hint. Our consumer demand, especially the rural demand, is not high. It is below average. The demand factor is below average. That is a concern area.
Yes, sir.
Now connected to that, capital expenditure by the private sector
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
is not again going up,
Yes, sir.
and that's because of the demand factor.
Yes.
Another concern area which was reflected in the latest GDP report.
Sir, I'm not
What
particularly
was the
aware of what
agriculture
was.
growth?
So yes, sir, it is to catch up, sir. It is not up to the mark.
How much was it? Any idea?
No, sir. Sorry.
0.8. Okay, now if I ask you to give me a very brief overview of the international economic scenario, can
Yes.
you give it to me? Just a macro view.
Yes, sir. So some of the countries, especially the Western countries like USA, are in a tight situation where they have to manage macroeconomic indicators of
Do
inflation.
you think USA is
as
in a
well as
tight
growth.
economy, and would you like to club USA with Europe, the West,
Sir, I'm
insofar as overview of economy is concerned?
Sir, not club with Europe, sir, but USA is facing, at least for some time back, it faced a challenge where it has to manage the inflationary conditions as well as the growth conditions. That is the first challenge, sir. The layoffs that are happening in the US and other countries is also an indicator that there might be some recessionary element that might be looming, if not in a technical sense, but yes, the growth is definitely slowing down. However, sir, the emerging economies, particularly India, have been doing well, sir, on that front, and India has had remarkable growth as highlighted
Let's
by...
not talk about India, because
Yes, sir.
otherwise I would have. Other countries.
Yes, sir. Sir, China is also slowing down according to various
What are the
reports.
reasons for China slowing down?
So the first reason that I can think of is the corona-induced lockdown, sir.
Okay,
China,
good.
yes, sir.
Good.
And the manufacturing capacity of China has also been declining for quite some time. And China is not able to export as much as it used before.
Why?
Sir, again, there are a couple of reasons. Firstly, I believe, sir, other countries are also trying to diversify the supply chains. They have understood the risk that comes with excessive reliance on
Okay,
China. That is the first reason. And also, sir, there is a strategy that is coming up called China +1 strategy.
That is the same point.
Yes, sir. So this is the only reason I
There is
think.
one in sector of China which is really responsible, which is showing real signs of real stress.
Sir, I'm not aware of the sector as per se.
Real estate.
Okay, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
must
I
have
did
heard
know.
of Evergrande and all that.
Yes, sir. I have an idea.
One day liquidation.
Yes, sir. I have an idea about it.
One
Yes.
day liquidation. Okay, now I can see that you are the Global Youth Miranda House chapter.
Yes, sir.
There is a school of thought which believes that the youth these days is more led by social media than by their inherent beliefs.
Yes.
What are your views on this? You got the question?
Yes, sir. Sir, I do agree that social media has taken a very prominent shape in the lives of youth. And also, sir, because of the echo chamber effect and all such effects that come with social media, I think youth are inherently trying to copy or imitate what they tend to see. However, sir, it is not completely true also, sir, because I still believe in the academic circles and in the universities and colleges that we have. There are youth that have access to various resources, books, and there are debating circles in our colleges, which also promotes original thinking among the youth, sir.
So overall, how do you assess them? I've got your point. You've
Yes.
given both sides of the picture.
Yes, sir.
Overall, how do you assess them?
Sir, considering the majority of the youth in India, I do believe that they are after social media because also of the easy way that information can be accessed from social media and consumed. I think that is somewhere leading to excessive reliance on social media for forming of
Thank
beliefs,
you,
sir.
Ananya.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Ananya, I'm very impressed that your hardcore Telugu girl came to Delhi, Miranda House, and you say that your parents and your grandfather inspired you to follow your dreams. I think
Thank you, sir.
that's really remarkable.
Thank you, sir.
And now you have been in Delhi for 3 years, isn't it? Miranda House.
Sir, I've been in Delhi for 2 years. Because of the COVID lockdown, I went back to my home.
And what have you been doing since 2021?
Sir, I've been preparing for UPSC, sir.
By staying in Delhi or by going back to Mehboob Nagar?
Sir, by going back to Hyderabad, sir. I used to stay in Hyderabad and study. from
Hyderabad.
there. Yes,
So
sir.
2 years you spent in Delhi, Miranda House.
Yes,
You
sir.
stayed in a hostel or you stayed in a PG?
I stayed in a hostel, sir.
Hostel.
Yes, sir.
Tell me how your stay in Delhi for these 2 years evolved you as a better human being.
Sir, I think firstly, initially, definitely it was like a cultural shock for me when I came over here. However, sir, I later realized that there is a lot to explore in Delhi. And I understood the sense of community that comes with studying in a college like Miranda House, whereby there is a greater emphasis placed on developing awareness about one's rights, speaking up for oneself. And also, sir, Miranda House is a community ingrained in me ideas regarding environmental consciousness, how to share and take, and all such things, sir.
So do you think by coming to Miranda House, your stay in Miranda House has made you a better human being?
Yes, sir, definitely.
More aware, more emancipated person than you would have been otherwise? Do you
Yes,
think
sir,
so?
definitely, I think so, sir.
And what are the 3 things you like about Delhi? Anything you liked about Delhi?
So first is food, sir. I liked food, especially rajma chawal and all such things. I
Okay,
came
that
to
is
love
one.
it. And secondly, sir, I think particularly pertaining to my college, the sense of equality and the sense of
I'm not
community.
talking about your college, I'm talking about Delhi,
Okay, sir.
the whole of Delhi.
Sir, I also liked some of the things like promoting e-vehicles, e-rickshaws and such things. Even though Delhi is a polluted city, I believe steps are being taken.
Hyderabad is equally polluted, no?
Yes, sir.
Why blame Delhi alone? Anyway, go ahead.
Yes. But some of the steps that are being taken here for controlling
Okay,
pollution.
anything else you liked about Delhi?
So definitely the tourist places, the rich history that Delhi has is
And
one.
anything you didn't like about Delhi?
So first is pollution. It was a bit harsh sometimes.
Okay.
And secondly, sir, I think even though the condition with respect to women's safety has improved, I still think Delhi has a long way
Did
to
you feel the women's safety is a major issue in Delhi
go. Yes, sir, I did.
as compared to Hyderabad?
Yes, sir, I did, sir.
Delhi is worse.
Yes, sir.
So if you are made the Commissioner of Police in Delhi, or let's say Deputy Commissioner of Southwest District, can you identify 2-3 steps that you will take to make the women more secure? Oh, don't tell me educating people.
Yes.
Delhi people don't get educated easily.
So firstly, I think I'll make urban spaces more safe for women. For instance, there are transportation facilities like buses, metros, which can be made more feasible for women so that accessibility will also
Go ahead,
increase.
just highlight the points.
Yes. Secondly, I'll also use technological measures. For instance, there is Himmat app that is being developed by Delhi
Okay,
Police.
anything else?
And thirdly, sir, self-defense mechanisms for women can be given in colleges and schools.
What were the positives on the International Women's Day on the 8th of March? From the women point of view, 8th March, International Women's Day. 3 positives for Indian women. 3 good news.
So for Indian women,
Yeah. Why should I talk about Australian women?
sir, specifically for Indian women, I'm
Yeah.
not aware of the things that
No.
happen.
Did you follow the International Women's Day 2024 and the
Yes.
news related to that?
Yes, sir.
But you can't recall.
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
that's all right. That's
Yes.
perfectly fine. I read somewhere in a medical journal that death may be optional by 2044. That is, you will die only through accident or natural calamities. So, what impact is it going to be on the society? Let us imagine a situation that death is optional, and there is a possibility because life expectancy has already gone up, organ transplant is already taking place. So, in case in some future date the death becomes optional, what impact will it have on society? My last question.
So firstly, I believe there will be impact on resources. There will be disproportional impact on resources because of the population continuously increasing. That is the first thing I can think about. And secondly, sir, there will be issues of accessibility. Well, yes, sir, death will be optional. I think people belonging to richer strata or upper classes will be able to access the medical technologies that will render them deathless. So maybe they will be able to access such medical technologies when compared with lower classes. And yes, sir, these are the two. And also, sir, thirdly, I believe with the increase in population in general, I think our expeditions to space will also increase. Our search for new lands will also increase. So that is one thing that might happen. However, sir, being an optimist that I am, I believe humans' potential is unlimited and humans will find ways to create resources and...
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You see, Uniform Civil Code, it flows from what article of the Constitution of India?
Sir, it flows from Article 44 of the Constitution
That's
of
right.
India.
The whole issue started, of course, Uttarakhand, not the living relationship part of it. I think they have gone very far beyond their brief. But starting with Shah Banu case, what was the Shah Banu case, gist of the Shah Banu case? Because they are justifying through Shah Banu case.
Sir, in the Shah Banu case, the Supreme Court has highlighted that the woman in question, Shah Banu, should be given maintenance by her husband, even though it is not mentioned in the personal laws of the Muslims. And also, Supreme Court has hoped that the UCC will be implemented in earnest in India.
So broadly, it is giving equal rights to men and women, especially in a particular minority community.
Yes.
So what is your observation on that? That has been done. It was in Shah Banu case. It's in Article 44. So what are your views on that to bring about this code?
So, yes, sir. Over the years, some steps have been taken in order to make some of the provisions of the personal laws gender neutral. However, still, sir, in many parts of the country, I think laws related to inheritance, divorce are still skewed against women, sir. So, a step like
So do you
UCC.
support it? Mine is a living. Do you support the uniform civil code
Yes,
brought by
sir.
Uttarakhand?
Sir, definitely. But, sir, the manner in which it is brought has to be consensus based, and decision making has to be done by taking all stakeholders into account. Because, sir,
It has been discussed on the floor of their house, local house. What more is required?
sir, but it also should reflect the overall popular opinion, sir. Because ultimately,
But popular opinion is vested in the elected representatives.
yes, sir, I do agree.
And
But,
for
sir,
fairness, they have sent it to President of India for accent.
sir, yes, sir, but a broader consultation with people with heads of religious groups can be more representative of the overall
Okay,
ideas.
now one particular commodity, agriculture commodity, is going to go to EFTA countries, right? EFTA countries. EFTA has been signed. What does EFTA stand for? It's a trade agreement, just signed a few days back. In fact, last Sunday it was signed.
Sir, if I'm not wrong, it is African Free Trade Agreement.
EFTA, please. I'll make it simpler for you. European Free Trade Association. So what commodity is going to get there? It's a agriculture commodity. You just talked about it earlier.
Sir, sorry, sir, I have to read
Paddy,
about
we were
it.
talking about
Okay,
paddy.
sir.
So
Yes,
paddy is
I'll
going
read
to
about
get
it.
there. And now the state of Telangana,
Yes.
you see, I heard on the TV about few months back that Muslims are being included, given extra 4% reservation in the State Public Services Commission, right? It is exceeding the 50% limit as laid down by the Indira Sani judgment. Even if they were to consider them as backward classes, other backward classes, it could have been within the already allotted 50%. Don't you think it is like giving something which finally everybody knows that is going to be pulled down by the Honorable Supreme Court? What are your views on that? This is my last question to you. If you were the Chief Secretary, I make it simpler for you, for Telangana, what would have been your advice to the policymakers?
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm not for providing affirmative action on the basis of religion, sir. I'm against it. That is the thing, sir. And also, sir, I believe, yes, sir, the situation of Muslims in Telangana and in Hyderabad in particular is not that great. And there are great inequalities present. But, sir, there are other alternative measures that can be taken. For instance, they can be included within other backward classes. And, sir, specific schemes can be brought out in their name for better opportunities for them, sir. And also something on lines of equal opportunities cell can be brought out so that the trust deficit and the bias they feel can be tackled.
Okay, thank you. That's right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.